Hello. What must it feel like growing up in a religious cult? A religious group that controls virtually every area of your life. Where you can't go, where you can't eat, where you can't sleep, who you can't marry, where you can't work, where you can't go to school. Many laws of can'ts. And on top of that, 11 meetings a week. How would it feel growing up? I'm about to tell you, because this was my experience in the exclusive brethren I was born into. It took me 22 years to escape. And I'm going to narrate to you the chapter 7 of the book Cult Escape, which I wrote to spill the beans on all the ins and outs of what it was like growing up in a religious cult, to create awareness of what's going on, as part of a campaign actually to help people who are trapped, who are wounded and damaged, and to give people hope and to warn people what might happen if they were to join such a religious group. And so chapter 7, how did it feel growing up? I was in the right religion, the right church, the right position, the right denomination. Everyone else was wrong, or not as right as us. We were in the best church on earth. We had the truth. We were in the truth. We knew the truth about the Bible like no one else and like no other group of people. We had the direct spiritual descendants of Apostle Paul as our leader even. Our leader wasn't a mere leader of a church like the Pope or an Archbishop. He wasn't just the leader of the solar system. We had the universal leader. That was one of his titles. These facts were my absolute truth. They didn't need to be proven or explored any more than you don't have to verify that you probably have 2 ears on the side of your head. We were separate from all humans who, unless they were in our only right group, were unworthy of our fellowship and unworthy to break bread with us, which is taking communion or worshipping together. I remember it, being the only exclusive right people on earth. And there's many religions and denominations who think the same about their own right religion. As I have already written in a previous chapter, I remember at the age of 11 standing outside the school assembly looking through the window. I saw the 1,200 or so pupils all facing the headmaster on the stage. I actually had this following thought. How is it that I have the truth and all these people are deceived? How fortunate am I? Ouch. I remember having that vivid thought as if it was yesterday. I sigh as I write this. What a bigoted, self-righteous, judgmental, pharisaical, hypocritical legalist I was already acting like. And I was just 11 years of age. This is how I was brought up. In my years in the exclusive brethren, I felt superior to other people. I believed we had the truth, we alone had the man of God. We knew exactly what it meant to keep ourselves unspotted from the world. We felt that we were the only group that practiced separation from evil. We alone were the ones who were recovering the truth. Outside the exclusive brethren, I never felt I fitted in, which isn't a surprise, is it? Anyone not in the exclusive brethren who was looked on and labelled as worldly, out of fellowship or out. However, this weird separation from the world was counteracted by 11 meetings a week. Every day, 365 or 366 days a year, which we all attended without fail unless we were ill. We also spent lots of time in each other's houses eating and drinking and socialising together. So that the lifestyle I grew up in felt normal to me in the same way in which I believe any cult member feels normal. The familiarity of the lifestyle, along with the strong need for belonging, is realised in tightly knit groups. I felt safe. I remember at the age of 10, looking around the meeting room one evening. I looked at the old men, members of the exclusive brethren since birth. Virtually everyone was born into it. These were all sober thinkers, nice people, intelligent, totally sincere and fully committed to their beliefs. These old men knew the Bible text back to front. I remember thinking this exact thought. There is no way these men can be wrong. The following illustrates how scared we could be in an otherwise normal situation. I was about 7 on a bus with my mum. when all of a sudden we were struck with terror. An older woman got on the bus with a machine gun and started shooting everyone. Actually, she didn't. But I said that to illustrate the feeling of sheer terror that I actually had. My stomach was churning with acute fear. Why? This woman was my great aunt Irene, who had left the Exclusive Brethren in 1970, 3 years previously. This evil, unclean, worldly woman, who had fallen so low as to reject the man of God, was walking up the bus towards us. Fortunately, she didn't see us, and she got off before we had to. Why did I literally feel terror and acute embarrassment at the age of 7? Another time, someone who had been excommunicated only the night before was walking down the street toward me. I had known this person all my life very well, but now they were out of fellowship. I was filled with fear. So I crossed the road in excruciating embarrassment and dread. I don't know if you can relate to this. Why would I feel such extreme emotions? How can such fear and horror grip someone in this way? Here's my view. The fear I experienced was a symptom of the indoctrination that these outs were evil, wicked and unclean people. My mind had been taken over with a highly powerful concoction of the following. And in the book I've listed 10 things, which are these. Number 1, I believed we alone had the truth. Number 2, my parents who loved me were utterly sincere, trained me up this way. Number 3, I didn't know any different. Number 4, I grew up spending time every single day in meetings with like-minded people devoted to the same beliefs. Number 5, Number 5, I had my need for belonging fulfilled. Number 6, the whole Bible was interpreted from the latest perspective from the man of God. Number 7, I was taught esoteric knowledge that only we knew, which made us feel special. Number 8, I was trained to see how and why anyone leaving us was wicked and unclean. Number 9, I believed that my eternal security was dependent upon me staying in fellowship. That fellowship, their fellowship. Number 10, if I left, I could lose my parents, family, and the only people I knew, which is what happened when I was 22 and I escaped. And as I read those 10, I wonder how many people experience virtually all of those 10 things, or are experiencing them right now from the religious group that they are in, the religious controlling group that has got them is holding them with these beliefs. These 10 concrete beliefs had a vice-like grip on my mind. Being indoctrinated this way meant that my mind only ever looked at agreeing loyally and wholeheartedly with the belief system of the man we all revered and followed closely. The fear of the awful consequences of leaving kept me from ever wanting to even stray towards questioning any of what we believed. This is how people are brainwashed and indoctrinated. There's different angles which hold and grip them in place. Although my years in the Exclusive Brethren felt normal to me, since it was all I had ever known, I recognise now that there was always a deep internal conflict of values going on. This conflict and the strain of conforming and keeping rules and the bonsai tree effects on my growth and development contributed to a life of feeling right, different, privileged, abnormal, superior, bored, secure, insecure, yet protected by the truth. This is the story of all religious cults. This is what cult members experience, this normality of safety because they got the truth. In the last 4 years before I left, the boredom of the dry, monotonous daily meetings coupled with a deep desire for freedom and expression of my identity started to increase the internal conflict of values. At the time, of course, I did not understand this. It caused me to feel unhappy. As I became more and more double-minded, I felt like a rope in a tug of war. There was no way that I could leave my parents for good and potentially never see them again, because I knew that they would be told to separate from me. However, there was no way that I could stay suppressed, restricted, and let more years of my life slip away. Reflecting on my childhood with the upbringing I had, I see both advantages and disadvantages. The old adage is true that there are people in far worse situations than what I have experienced. We can always choose to make the best of what we have today, Where it is challenging, we can put it down to learning and experience. Life can make you stronger or it can crush you. My childhood was generally a happy one because I was very blessed to look on the bright side of life. I was very fortunate to be able to choose to spend most of the time in my mind on the sunny side of the street with parents who were very loving to me. The extreme separatist lifestyle gave me an exclusive I'm right complex, which has taken years to shake off. In fact, I've written a poem called I'm Wrong. I might put it on YouTube sometime. It taught me to judge everyone as unworthy of our elite company and to live with a them and us attitude. This extreme viewpoint has taught me firsthand just how destructive living in judgment is. It has helped me seek to go in the opposite direction and discover what happens when you accept and love everyone. I have seen how putting law and rules on people binds them up and crushes them. Again, this has helped me see how the opposite works, which is unconditional love and acceptance of all. Basically, I was brought up to judge the world through the lens of the man that we all followed and who held us under the power of his influence. I have come to see that judging with any perceived knowledge of good and evil is normal and totally natural in this world. It leads to an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth judgment. This produces the penal justice system, which is the way of life for much of society. And all cults operate under this same system. Through seeing it outworked at an extreme level, I have come to see that there is only restorative justice that truly works and heals a person. Through the exclusive brethren modus operandi, I have seen how law breeds more law, which breeds more law, and how it only conditions people, produces self-righteousness, and ultimately condemns them. Unconditional love, on the other hand, releases people into realizing the call of their true heart to live out the love that is innate in them and in everyone. So it was it felt normal to me growing up because it's all I knew. And if you're a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon or Seventh-day Adventist or a Scientologist, they're the big religious groups, and there's over almost 1,000 in the UK, thousands across the world that control people. It will feel, to an extent, normal. Don't be surprised if it feels normal and your sense of belonging is being met, and therefore it feels okay. Question it. Question everything. And that's how it felt for me growing up. The next chapter, chapter 8 of Cult Escape, is one which is called Funny Memories. And in it are some of the outstanding memories of my incarceration in those 22 years. And I'll be telling you some stories of which you might find amusing. So until then, you don't need to buy this book because I'm narrating it on YouTube, one chapter per week. But if you want to, you can get it on Amazon. And if you'd like to subscribe to this channel and like and comment, the reach of this campaign will go out even further, which will be helpful if you feel you'd like to do that. So until the next video, see you soon.